was just thinking about swearing and Pavlovian conditioning. It's come up again this morning. To me, it was yesterday as well. Like someone was saying, on the clay, I was on the golf course, about swearing so much, and it's not nice for the children, etc. Not everyone wants their children listening to swearing. I was saying, I don't know what, blah, 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 blah. This is what I hear when you start talking, blah, 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 blah. You know, there's worse things for children listening to my native tongue, like overhearing my cursed life. I mean, I've said that before. There is worse things. Children can be affected more, like passive smoking and, I don't know, chemicals in food, weed killer, I don't know, anything really. That's just me being a, what's it called? Diversion tactics, maybe. I swear, I do. It's just, do you know, I swear, I don't have a great deal of problem with it. And I've always, it's like always, your primary tongue is your primary weapon is your tongue, isn't it? And a weapon is only if it's used with intent or something. So it's the intention of the language, isn't it? It's tone, body language, and all sorts of other contexts. I've always said this. I ended up, anyway, I've gone off on a sidetrack. But what I was just thinking was, with the Pavlovian, this has just come just now after, I don't know how things do. People say, if you say to your child, for example, you overhear your child using different language. So where did you hear that language? You say it in the right way. This has just literally come to me. It's going to be another tool, isn't it? Of, you know, you open a conversation, open a dialect with a person, and find out where they have learned that language from and the context of it. You know, was it on television? Was it, you know, on YouTube? What were they watching? What have they been watching on YouTube? Maybe this is something we need to sit down and look through together. Is it somebody at school threatening them? Was it, you know? Were they just playing a game? Were they playing cops and robbers? Open a dialect with a child about the language. Don't just... I mean, this is the other thing with drugs, isn't it? With drugs culture. And I went through with my children, maybe not the younger one, but I always call it my practice. It's like you learn as you go, don't you, to a degree. But you need to leave that line of communication open for discussion, to come and talk to you about. You know, I had that with one of my twins anyway, and later on with others as well. If they come in with the fucking crack box that they've experimented with something turns out to be something else, they'll come and talk to you about it, which is the ideal solution, really. Or it was back then anyway, when they were still talking to me, because they hadn't been whizzing away by the other fairy parents. That's the point, though. You need to leave the lines of communication open and use the tools you've been given. So you spot something out of the ordinary and it alerts you to the fact your children has been taking a path without you, essentially. Which they'll do in life. That's the point, isn't it? You raise a child to set them free. That's what I was thinking though. Pavlovian conditioning and what, I can't think of the other words, to be honest. Being student-led. Finding out where they've been learning this. It might be. It might not be as scary as you first think. An expansion of language. You need to teach them about context, probably, where they can and can't safely use that language. My daughter used to call it school language and home language with her daughter. When at nursery she went in doing gun fingers, and they said that wasn't to be done at school. Actually, it wasn't to be done full stop. So my daughter very wisely came up with school language and home language. I thought, you know what, that would have been useful to have been presented to me. We used to call it a telephone voice. Your telephone voice is what you put on when you answer the telephone. Or in any other social situation that you needed to use a telephone voice. There may be a time they need to blend in with cursed common folk, probably. It depends where they're going, or they might be picked out as fodder for being robbed and stolen off. If they go to, let's say they go to a social event, a music event, for example, where you have gangs of people come up, criminal activity, lifting phones off people. They come up from all sorts of towns, rough ones, rough ends, and they go around picking folk off. They just look them over. What are you wearing? You're clearly got 16 laptops in your back pocket. We can tell just by the way you're dressed. We can. I know people do this. I often go around playing this game myself, not to rob them, just because it's like, do you know what? You're just oozing. You're oozing moolah. You'd be rich pickings, sitting there looking all lonely and doe-eyed. I'd sidle right up to you if I was that way inclined, and give you all my saddest tales. And you'd wake up in the morning, and all your favourite things would be gone, and so would I. And everyone would say, "Oh, people ghost, get over it. You shouldn't have been such a fool." That's why women have to learn to look after themselves a little bit. It's true. And men, actually. Boys, young men. They all get picked on as well. The same things happen to them, you know. That's it, really. That's what I was thinking of when I woke up this morning. I was thinking about some other things as well, but I'm not going to come on about them now. One of the old primary school teachers, to be honest, has got right up my nose again. Oh. No reason, to be honest, apart from the fact she's just surfaced in my mind. Lord Harridan. There we go. That's my life to live. I don't have to see her ever again, really, because, you know what, I'm not in that circuit. Good for me.